Hey everybody, Doug Rucker here with Pressure Cleaning School and DougRuckerStore.com. Hey, coming to you today, going to show you how to put a Steel Eagle surface cleaner together. Coming to you from our new training center and build warehouse. So stay tuned for that. Steel Eagle surface cleaner coming up next. Okay guys, on this Steel Eagle surface cleaner, this is a 24-inch deck. And so we've been selling quite a bit of these because we, like everybody else, have been having problems getting Whisper Wash and a couple of other brands that we sell. And I actually have switched to the Steel Eagle for our commercial rig, and I absolutely love it. Probably one of the best surface cleaners I've ever used as far as cleaning. It's just as easy as to use as the Whisper Wash. I think it cleans just as good, if not just a tad bit better. It is a slight bit heavier, but it's not too bad. I mean, it's very easy to lift in and out of our truck rig. But that's the only difference I noticed, or one of the difference I noticed was the weight. So just a tad heavier, but nothing that's not, workable that you can work with moving around a property, in and out of a trailer, in and out of a truck, or things like that. So what you get when these come in a box, and you basically have to put these together, it's a little bit different than like the Whisper Wash, where it comes together, comes pretty much all put together, and all you have to do is hook up basically the hose and extend the handles or whatever. But you get the cleaning deck. This is the 24-inch. You get the hose that goes from the swivel up to the little outlet for the water, or inlet for the water. The two tires, your front caster, and then of course all the hardware, the little axle. So all of this you got to put together, but it doesn't take too long. It takes about 15-20 minutes. Watch this be a 30-minute video. But anyway, and an instruction manual to put it together, but it's not the instruction manual is not real clear and concise. So just for those guys that have been buying these, I'm getting this ready for a build that we're doing tomorrow in another van. I just thought I'd make kind of a detailed video how to put these together in case you ever decide to buy one. So we'll get started with that coming up next. So guys, the first thing you're going to do is attach the handles on both sides of the surface cleaner. You've got 4 holes on this side, 4 holes on this side, and you've got these handle braces that will go in. I always like doing this on a table where I've got a corner I can set my deck and reach up underneath. And so I'm going to get a couple here started. These are the nylon thread type lock washers, which is nice. So you got 4 1/4-inch nuts and bolts that are going to go on this side, and then you've got 4 that are going to go on the other side. And so we'll use our socket. For this job, you're basically going to need a 7/16 socket and wrench, and then you'll need a 9/16 socket and wrench. That's pretty much all you're going to need for this job. And so we will start putting these on, ratcheting these, both these handles on, and then I'll come back and show you the next step. Quick tip guys, when you're putting these on, I have found the best thing to use is a nut driver, 7/16 nut driver. And what I'm going to do is go underneath with an impact wrench or impact drill with a 7/16 socket, and just gonna hold it down and barely. I like to use the nut driver up top. That way I'm not drilling down on this and can scratch up the black metal. I know it's gonna get gummed up and look nasty after a while anyway, but let's get on this side first. So if we just use, just kind of snug it up, That'll be a lot faster and a lot easier for to use. You can use a drill too. It doesn't need that much torque or power, but a drill will work fine too with a 7/16" nut driver. All right, guys, so once I've got the handle on, what I like to do is turn the handles, turn it to one side where I can work with it a little bit easier. That's one of the reasons I like to put the handles on first, or the handle bases on first. That way it's just easier to kind of let it lay on one side when I'm working on the swivel. So for the swivel, you're going to use the 9/16. There's only 4 of them. They're the larger size than the 7/16 that we're just working with. So you're simply just going to put this in. It's only going to fit one way. You can't do it the other way. So I usually get one started here. Doesn't matter which hole it goes into. And then just kind of hold it. And get you one started over here. And it'll kind of hold there. Come back over here and get you another one in. And then the rest of them are pretty easy to get in because it's going to sit in the pocket. So we'll get all those fastened again using our little impact drill. Not using a lot of power with that impact. You can barely, this is a variable speed one, so I can barely pull the trigger or control the speed with my hand or my finger on the trigger. So that's a good thing. So we'll get these bolted up and tightened up and come back and show you, I think, the spray bar next. Next, guys, once we've got the swivel put on, the next thing that we want to do is put on the spray bar. And this is a 2 nozzle spray bar. It came with 1502 nozzles. I'm going to change these out. This is going on an 8 gallon per minute machine. I know 15 is kind of a tight spray pattern. I want a little bit wider for this 8 gallon per minute machine. That's what I use on mine. I'm actually going to put 2503s, and I've already done that, taking these nozzles out, and I put these nozzles in. I did not use any tape here. I don't like using tape on nozzles because when it starts shredding, sometimes it can go through. Very rarely would it get stuck because it's so soft it'll go through the nozzle, but you just never know. Just don't like to use Teflon. But I did use a little bit of that blue Loxeal on it. And then on the spindle, actual spindle here, I don't use anything. I just tighten this down by hand. So I put on 2503, 2 nozzles. That should be perfect for his 8 gallon per minute machine, but he can change that if he needs to, depending on the concrete. So always know, depending on the concrete, sometimes you need to go a little bit wider orifice, like a 25035 or 2540 or whatever. Just depending on the concrete or the surface that you're cleaning. Not all surfaces require the same nozzle, so you have to be careful of that. Here in Houston, it's just a lot of porous concrete surfaces, so we don't have to change our nozzles too much, but occasionally we do run across something where we need to. Also, one point, if you look at the spray bar straight, you're gonna see that these ends are slightly crooked. That's okay, that's the way it's supposed to be. That gives it its push as it's hit on the ground. If this is a flat surface, that helps give it its push to get it spinning and going. So don't want those totally straight, but you do want your nozzles, the spray of the nozzle like that, to be straight in line, parallel with this bar. That's very, very important. So you would not want it like, let's see here, where's the other nozzle? So you would not want this nozzle with that hole sitting like that, or like that, or like that. You want it completely straight. Let's see if I can get that. Okay, completely straight and parallel. Those little lines right there need to go straight with that bar. I hope that makes sense. Trying to do this while looking at the camera at the same time. It's a little tough. But anyway, we're gonna put this on, and then we're gonna take our 9/16, I believe it is. Or is it bigger than that? No, it's the 11/16. 11/16. And and I just kind of take it. There's a little notch right here underneath the spray bar, and I just kind of get it on a notch in here, or a bolt or something to hold it, and just spin it and hand tighten it. Not too much force, and that should be good. And now the spindle and the spray bar and part of the handle are all installed, and so we're ready to turn it over, get the wheelbase, tires, all that kind of stuff done, and the rest of the handle. So we'll do that next. Hey guys, just kind of a quick little break here to show you the new warehouse. It's still a work in progress, but this is the new training center and build warehouse. As a matter of fact, we've got a build going on right now for another enclosed van that we'll be finishing up this week. And then we've got a truck actually being shipped to us from New Jersey that we'll get started on as well. It's a service body truck that they want built just like mine. And I'll put a little video link description below, or in the card or wherever that goes, if you want to see that video. But this is basically what it looks like over here. We have tables that we can set up. Last week we had about 8 or 9 guys here for some training for our regular monthly training schools that we've been having for the last 10 years. Of course, I got the football game on while I'm working on the surface cleaner, but that's a little skid right there that's for sale for a long bed pickup truck, 8 foot long. But yeah, this is it. I'm very proud of it. Again, still working on it. Got to get things organized and ready to go. Got the slat wall up. Plenty of space here. Plenty of opportunity to do things in here. Increase our product line. We're going to be doing some changes to the KINGSLINGER. We're making some better air products, making some 12-volt products. Might do booster, I don't know. Definitely are not going to do any type of gas-powered systems. I just don't like those and don't think they're good for, especially you guys that are starting out. But the KINGSLINGER air diaphragm system that I designed, we're still doing tremendous with those. I don't know, probably 10 or 12 a week, 10 or 12 every 2 weeks, something like that. Just banging them out of here, and I appreciate everybody's support on that. It's a great little system. Matter of fact, there's one I got to get ready today to get picked up tomorrow. So anyway, just thought you guys might like to see this. We are going to have an open house coming up November 13th. We'll have some barbecue going. Actually going to do some on-site smoking of some meat. Have some giveaways probably, maybe do some equipment demos, I don't know. Just kind of want to have an open house for here and the store, which is right across the way through that door. You just walk across the parking lot and that's where we are for the store. So anyway, just thought you guys might want to see it because this is where I'll be doing most of the videos now, and you'll be able to get to see it as it progresses. Okay guys, next we're going to install the hose onto the swivel. It's going to go up to, I normally would say the gun, but this does not have a gun on it. We're going to be using, well, I'll show you that in just a second. But on the hose that goes from the swivel up to the water inlet portion, you've got 2 different ends. I've already Teflon taped the end that I'm putting into the swivel right here. But there's a difference. One has a swivel end, the other does not. And so the end that does not swivel, that's the end you're going to put down into the swivel down here, okay? So this swivel piece right here, that's not the end you put down there. We want to put the non-swivel end of the hose down here. So I'm going to come over here. I've got my 11/16 inch wrench, and I'm going to put just a little bit of the Loxeal, the blue stuff, on, and then insert it into the main swivel, and we'll just turn it by hand, get it going. okay? And once we get it all the way in there, just take your wrench, snug that up. And you'll be done with this part. And then next, what we're going to do after this is we'll get the wheel assembly on, and then I do the handle as the last portion, because that's, I do that with the deck, if I remember correctly, down on the ground. So get that nice and snugged up, and then we'll come back with the wheel assembly. Hey, by the way, guys, if you're enjoying this, if it's helping you, make sure you give me a like, hit that subscribe button, and then leave me a comment or a question, okay? Okay, so the wheel assembly basically consists of the axle, which is this, and then you've got two push caps, two push metal push caps. You've got two little spacers like these. These little black things are metal spacers, and then another push cap for the other end of the axle. And so what I've already done is got push cap on one end. These are a little difficult to get on, so I always put the first one on first. I usually have to get the machine bent over and this end on the ground to get the other one on, but you're just gonna have to work with it and get it on as best you can. But we're gonna take these tires. These are actually have air in them, so there's a little valve stem there for the air to go in. So we're going to take and put the axle through the first tire, which is going to go like that. And we're going to put the spacer through that. We go through here, a little hole for the axle. It'll come through the other side. Always fun doing these jobs by yourself, but where there's a will, there's a way. So we get it coming through the other side. And then on this side, we're going to put our other spacer. And on this side, we're going to put the other tire with the valve stem for the air on the other side. So get all that on. And then we've got our metal cap. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we've got our metal cap on top of this other axle. I'm gonna try to do this on this table. I don't know if it's gonna work. I know the camera's gonna shake, but you wanna get that nice and centered, and then a hammer, you gotta give it a good whack to get it on there. Don't whack the fingers. Ow. Okay, pinch my finger. So that's together, that's on to the next. Okay guys, last part of the deck setup that we've got to put on is the front caster. So we're gonna put that on with the two bolts provided. Let's see if I can get this over here. So it goes on like this, the L bracket going down. Get them going started by hand, and then we'll use our drill and our nut driver to get them tightened up. So I really like any type of surface cleaner. I don't like 4-caster surface cleaners unless they're like the 19-inch or 16-inch or something like that. When I get into these bigger ones, I don't like 4-wheel casters. They just kind of have a tendency to be sometimes get a little out of control, like the Maxima or I don't know, some of the other ones out there. I like these type that have 2 tires, 2 wheels, and a front caster. Okay, so get that set up, and then we're going to tighten this up, and the front caster will be on. Okay guys, last thing is you've got a street elbow. In this case, I'm using a 45 angle. And so this is going to go right here off of this pipe fitting. Got to make sure that you get one that's going to twist around so you can't get one that's too long. And so that's going to go like that. Of course, I'm going to Teflon this up and use the Loxeal and all of that. By the way, this is the Loxeal that I use. We sell that on our website. We also sell the Teflon tape on our website, but you can get this at Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace. I don't think they sell this, but we have this available if you want it. That's what we use. So anyway, yeah, so it's set up, and then all you have to do is hook your ball valve to here if you're opposite, and the end of your ball valve has this piece, and of course you just use a plug fitting come on off of here so that the coupler can go onto that. But I do mine where, like I always have said, the plug points the way of the water, so the plug is my lead fitting. So that's it. I hope that's been helpful for you guys. I'm going to show you one more thing here in just a second. Let me get this on, and then I'll come right back. All right, guys, I told you a little bit ago about the forecasters. And this really, what I'm about to talk about is really a personal preference thing. I mentioned to you that I don't like the forecasters unless they're on the 16 or like the 19 or 20 inch. Some of those models, the BEs have casters on their 20 inch models. Those models and below, they're okay. They work kind of good. Once you get into the 24 inch, I just personally don't like them. They seem to have a, you know, like when I'm pushing this, it'll tend to go more of a straighter line, and I can keep control of it better than when it's got four casters. They just kind of tend to want to do this sometimes. One caster catches a little joint or whatever. I just feel I have better control and more control on the models. Let's move my table back just a hair. On the models that have the two wheels in the back and the one caster in the front. So whether it's the Steel Eagle or the Whisper Wash, the 24 inch, those are my favorite surface cleaners to use with a 5 gallon per minute or 8 gallon per minute, because you can adjust your nozzle size depending on your gallon per minute and all that kind of stuff. I don't like the 28 inch. I don't like things bigger than that, mainly for space reasons in our trailer, but also in our truck skid, our surface body skid, which, by the way, I have a video about that if y'all want to see that. We'll put that in the card above or link it in the description down below. But anyway, the 24 inch is just kind of my favorite. It's very easy to maneuver, very easy to use, all that kind of stuff. So one thing I will note on these, the Whisper Wash versus the Steel Eagle, you can see the Whisper Wash handle. I don't know if you can tell, but it comes up more of at a straighter angle up. And so my hands kind of get on it, rest on it a little bit easier. I'm not reaching down, whereas this one, it kind of comes like this at a less of an angle or whatever. And so it's almost like the handle is a little bit lower. Now, that's only important if you're used to using this. And we've been using these for years, the 24 inch Whisper Wash, but when I made the switch to the Steel Eagle, it's just something I had to get used to. So if you haven't used one of these, you're not going to notice any difference. It's going to be very easy to get used to it. I've used it about, I don't know, the last month, and I'm already used to it, and it doesn't bother me anymore. But I did notice that when I first started using it, and just thought I'd bring that up. So any questions about these surface cleaners, feel free to contact us at DougRuckerStore.com or give us a call, 281-612-1223, and we're located again right here in the Houston, Texas area, up here in the Kingwood, Texas area. So if you're in that area, stop in and see us. We've got an open house coming up November 13th, and so more details about that to come here shortly. Thanks, y'all. Have a very, very blessed rest of your day or evening, whichever it may be.